You know, we hear a lot of rumors about the royal family, but who really knows what went down to cause the rift between Harry and William? Now, a new book written by Christopher Andersen takes us inside the private lives of the royals with in-depth research and over 40 years of knowledge in his new book, Brothers and Wives.
And yet now we have this incredible situation where there is a huge rift between these guys. And it does not show any sign of mending anytime soon. The book is Brothers and Wives, and their wives have played a huge part in all of this, and Meghan in particular. And the monarchy is just teetering for all sorts of reasons.
It is so sad to see this rift because we've all seen these boys growing up.
Right.
When you were doing your researching and your writing, was there something that surprised you to learn?
Oh, gosh, so much. The degree to which they both still suffer from PTSD, not so much because, yes, their mother's death was crushing, the car accident that killed Diana, but having to walk behind their mom's casket. If you remember we all watched the funeral, right? And it was just heartbreaking, but they did not want to do it. You know, here's a 15-year-old William, 12-year-old Harry, and they were basically forced to. And so for years, they had this, what their uncle, Earl Spencer, said was the sense of walking through a tunnel of grief. You know, 1 million people clogging the streets of London, and they have to keep their cool and walk behind their mother's casket. Harry says he still is triggered by flying into London, by all those memories. And then, of course, the whole racial thing. And that surprised me because I did uncover in the book who the person was that Harry mentioned in the Oprah interview who had said something about what their children might look like. And that was Charles. Now, I write about how innocent the remark was, the fact that he was talking to Camilla about, gee, these are two gorgeous people. I wonder what Meghan and Harry, what their children might look like, eye color, hair color. I mean, I'm a grandfather. I can tell you that just goes with the territory. But that was just spun into something much more toxic, I think.
So it was a fairly innocuous comment from what you understand. So who would perpetuate this rumor and try to harm this family?
You know, one of my friends said that, in London, that they really are a nest of vipers. These people are jockeying for position. We don't know their names, using members of the royal family as pawns in this game for power. People don't realize the degree to which there are 3 separate competing, actually 4 now, the House of Cambridge, the House of Sussex, Buckingham Palace, and Charles, the Prince of Wales. Each one has their own huge bureaucracy, and the people in those bureaucracies compete for attention and power. And, the Queen is 95, will be 95 in April, 70 years on the throne. Things will be in transition. Who's going to hold the reins of power in the monarchy? And it is an important institution, nothing like it in the world.
A lot of people speculate that it will end with William. Do you think it will go to Charles? And do you think the monarchy will see the last with William?
Well, Charles is in a funny situation because Charles has to, gain the love and admiration and respect of his subjects the way the Queen has. I mean, the Queen is still thought of very fondly by the world population, not just England, but the Commonwealth. The rest of us, I think, feel very warmly toward her. She's always been there, let's face it.
Yeah.
Charles, not so much Charles. He has wanted this job his whole life. I mean, that's what he was born to do, He waited longer than anybody by far, years and decades even. So it's going to be interesting to see how that works. Now, once we move on to William, I think William will be very popular. Kate is a wonder. She's really navigated all these treacherous waters so expertly. I think once you get past Charles, it's relatively smooth sailing.
Okay. What about the relationship between Harry and William? I can't imagine that Diana would have been happy about any of this.
Diana would say, my boys are my revenge. And by that, she meant that, whatever happened to her, she knew she'd never be queen, but whatever happened to her, they would be there, they would carry on the monarchy. They'd be the important one. She always thought they'd do it together. She'd say, look, I'm glad you got your love with these wonderful women and you've got these wonderful families and you're happy, but to turn your back the way Harry sometimes looks as if he's done on your heritage and to walk away from your brother, I think that would have broken her heart, to be quite honest with you.
Is Harry being pushed out, do you think, by the family?
Wow, somebody was compared the Queen to, kind of like the the godmother, a soprano, because, she's running this family and she is tough. I mean, look what she did. Well, when Harry said, I want to be a part-time royal, she said, you're either in or you're out. And she stripped him of his military titles, which of course everyone knew would hurt him. The firm is all. I mean, she loves her family, but the firm is, which is, the monarchy, is the most important thing to her.
I can't get enough of this idea of these men in gray suits. So crazy and fascinating. Christopher talked also about Charles and his wife Camilla. And we should note, recently the Queen announced Camilla would be Queen Consort when Charles takes the throne. That has a lot of people talking.